Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the Pythagorean identity. Now, if you recall from a previous concept session, we actually talked about the Pythagorean identity. Pythagorean identity is cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta equals 1. What they'd like us to do here is essentially translate this and make it into just a single trig function. So any kind of trig function, right? Cosine, sine, tangent, cotangent, cosine, everything like that. First, the main goal here, especially whenever digesting like these kinds of problems, is you want to look at the trig functions that are in the original equation. And you want to focus on those first. Because these constants, we can apply these by just doing, basically just by multiplying and things like that, right? We can do some different manipulation there to get that, but the main important thing first is to get this secant squared theta. The best way to do this, and especially with them giving us the hint of using the Pythagorean identity, what we can do is divide this all by cosine squared theta, because 1 over cosine squared theta is secant squared. So cosine squared theta over cosine squared theta gets us 1, plus sine squared theta over cosine squared theta is tangent squared theta, and that equals our secant squared theta. Perfect. Now from here, what we can do is get tangent squared by itself, because if you notice here, we have secant squared theta minus 1. Now if you look here, these secant squared theta minus 1 and this 4 secant squared theta minus 4 are very similar, because all I have to do is multiply by 4 here to get that exact equation. If we multiply secant squared theta by 4 and this negative 1 by 4, we get 4 secant squared theta minus 4. The only thing is that we also have to multiply 4 to the other side. So that means we have 4 tangent squared theta equals 4 secant squared theta minus 4. And now that we see that these two equal each other, we know that this is our answer. Also because we know this is our answer because there's only one trig function in it. And there's no other like pluses or minuses, things like that. It's just 4 tangent squared theta. So that's our answer. And these can be very tricky. It's really important to just kind of focus first on the trig function that's in the original equation. Because as you can kind of see here, like during the steps, I really used this secant squared theta and like focused on that first to make sure that we were kind of going in the right direction. Like that was my major concern, is to first just get secant squared theta and then see where we're at. And then once you realize here that like, oh, I have this positive 1 here, if I subtract that over, I not only get a single trig function by itself, this tangent squared theta, but then I get secant squared theta minus 1, which resembles our original equation, because then all I have to do is just multiply by 4. Hopefully you can kind of apply that same thinking to a lot of your other homework problems regarding this concept. Other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day and good luck in your course.